We're here at CES 2018, where LG have very kindly given us early access to their stand so we can get a first look at their new TV lineup. We'll be doing other videos later in the week, looking at things like AutoCal, but for starters, I started by asking Darren Petersen to tell me about their new TV lineup for both OLED and Super UHD.
After a record 2017, we finished the year with the highest ever market share we've had in the UK. Specifically on premium, we're around 40% of the market, which was largely driven by our hugely successful OLED range. So here we're launching our 2018 lineup, so we'll be introducing a new B8, C8, E8, G8 and a new wallpaper TV, the W8 at CES.
And in terms of screen sizes, what screen sizes will they have?
So the B8 will be 55 and 65, so same as last year. The C8 will be introducing a 77-inch, that's new based on the lineup we had last year. The E8 will be a 55 and 65. The G and the W will be 65 and 77.
Are there any differences between these different models?
There is a difference with the B8. It has a slightly different processor. So the other models have the Alpha 9 and the B8 is on the Alpha 7 processor.
And what benefits does the Alpha 9 processor offer to the new TV lineup?
So the Alpha 9 processor is going to do a number of different things that essentially is going to give the user better color, better clarity and better depth. On top of that, it will be able to support things like HFR and help to support for some of our AI functions as well.
You mentioned HFR. Is that going to be over HDMI as well or not?
No, so the 2.1 standard wasn't ready in time, so there is no HDMI 2.1 input support at the moment. So any HFR viewing would be through streaming at this point.
So how exactly does the Alpha 9 processor differ from the Alpha 7 processor?
So they're quite similar in terms of what they're going to give the user in terms of picture quality. It's both going to provide that better colour, better clarity and better depth. One of the key differences is if, for example, the user wanted to watch a piece of content that was HDR and also HFR, you can do that on the Alpha 9 processor. The Alpha 7, you would have to watch them separately, so you couldn't watch a piece of content that was HDR and HFR.
You mentioned HDR, so what versions of HDR will you be supporting this year?
All the ones we supported last year, so HDR10, HLG and Dolby Vision. We're also supporting the new Technicolor HDR standard as well. And this year we are further increasing our support for HDR10 and HLG by adding a Pro element. So that's going to add in that dynamic metadata to add that layer of extra contrast ratio and quality on top of that.
When you say add dynamic metadata, do you mean sort of a fake version that the TV creates?
Yeah, on the fly it will add that, yeah.
Are there any plans to add HDR10 Plus?
No, not at the moment, no.
In terms of the audio on these TVs, how does that differ from model to model?
Exactly the same, so all support Dolby Atmos. There'll just be varying degrees of the wattage and so on, but they're similar to last year, all support Dolby Atmos.
And will they be using soundbars?
I wouldn't say soundbars, but some have that kind of design. So the W8 is using the same, we don't call it a soundbar, but it has the same as last year with the W7 and speaker setup. And you can see the various models around here, they have similar to last year, kind of like a soundbar built in, yeah.
One of the big things you've announced this year is also ThinQ. What exactly is ThinQ?
So ThinQ is our brand for AI that runs across all of our platforms and products. So any product that has AI support and functionality sits under our ThinQ brand. The ThinQ engine is what drives that. So that's our deep learning platform that will learn user behavior over time and improve the user experience.
And how does that integrate with WebOS?
So WebOS is the underlying smart TV platform and ThinQ is on top of that. So for the TV it will enable you to do things like, for example, use your voice to seamlessly change picture mode settings, to change channels and so on.
Along with ThinQ and WebOS, are there any plans to include some sort of voice assistant feature?
Yeah, so in the UK we will be supporting Google Assistant and Amazon Alexa, so the TV will be compatible with those services.
I still love the Magic Mouse myself.
Yeah, that's still there, and you will still use that for some of those functions, but it's giving users that choice. If they are a household that uses those types of services, the TV can be part of that experience now.
You're so big in terms of OLED that it's often easy to forget that you also make LCD TVs.
Yeah.
What have you got in terms of the new LCD lineup?
So we've got a fantastic new range of Super UHDs. specifically the 850 and 950 in the UK. So they will be adopting our new full array local dimming. So you're going to get a much better picture quality from the full array local dimming.
Can you comment on how many local dimming zones that TVs have?
No, we don't communicate that. I mean, you guys will test it and review, and you'll see that the picture quality is fantastic.
In terms of features, is it the same feature set as the OLED TVs?
More or less the same. One of the key things is that we're also now offering Dolby Atmos support on the Super UHD TVs as well, so they'll benefit from having that fantastic audio experience. It's becoming more and more relevant in the UK, especially with Premier League football being broadcast in Dolby Atmos, so you're going to get a great audio experience.
What sort of screen sizes will these TVs come in?
So the Super UHD, so the 950 will come in 55 and 65. The 850 will come in at 49 inch with a 55 and 65 as well.
You mentioned 49 inch, and that brings up an interesting question because a lot of enthusiasts, they want an OLED TV, but in British homes, 55 inches is still considered quite a large screen size. Is there any plans at all to make smaller screen size OLED panels?
There's no lower screen size than 55 inch for 2018. Yeah. I mean, for sure I get your point, and some people will need a smaller screen, but the largest growing part of TV sales is in those bigger screen sizes. So the UK consumers are getting used to those bigger TVs.
And obviously the big question at the end is, can you talk about availability and price?
Yeah, so generally speaking, all the models will be coming to the market around April time. Some of them may be staggered over May and June, but the vast majority will be coming from April.
I think it's fair to say that LG had a pretty good year in 2017, and looking at their new lineup for this year, I think it's going to be equally successful in 2018. So stay tuned for more coverage from CES 2018, and thanks for watching.